There's a file on the table. Thick, manila, with my name stamped in bold red ink across the top. I don't reach for it right away. Instead, I let my fingers drum against the metal surface of the desk, listening to the sound echo through the dimly lit briefing room. The air smells of old paper and stale coffee, the kind of scent that clings to government buildings long after the people inside have changed. Across from me, Director Carlyle watches in silence. He's a man carved out of stone. Asterisk, asterisk, sharp eyes. Pressed suit, asterisk, asterisk, a presence that makes the room feel smaller. Finally, I open the file. The first thing I see is a photo of a man. His face is blurred, distorted like someone tried to scrub his identity out of existence. Beneath it, a single line reads, Dr. Jonathan Reeves, missing since 1987. I glance up. Another retrieval mission? Carlyle shakes his head. Not exactly. He leans forward, sliding another document into view. It's a map, marked with coordinates that lead to a place I've never heard of. Blackridge, a town buried deep in the mountains. Isolated, forgotten. This is where he was last seen, Carlyle says. And where you're going? I frown. Why now? If he's been missing for decades. Asterisk, asterisk. It's not just about him. His voice is colder now, the weight of something unsaid pressing between us. It's about what he was working on. I flip through the pages. Research notes, classified documents, crude sketches of some kind of machine. Half of it is blacked out, redacted beyond recognition. But one phrase keeps appearing over and over. Subject HM01. The Hollow Man. A shiver crawls up my spine. What is this? I ask. Carlyle exhales, clasping his hands together. Something that should have stayed buried. I look at him, waiting for more. He doesn't blink. You leave in an hour, he says. I suggest you prepare yourself, Agent Mercer. Blackridge is not what it seems. I should have known something was wrong the moment we reached the entrance. The steel doors loomed over us, covered in rust and grime, as if they hadn't been opened in years. But according to the briefing, a retrieval team had been here just 3 months ago, if that were true. Why did this place feel like it had been abandoned for decades? All right, stay close, I said, gripping my flashlight tighter than I should have. My team, 4 highly trained agents, stood behind me, silent and alert. We had been through missions together before. High-risk retrievals, classified investigations, even urban legend debunking. But something about this place felt different. It wasn't just the silence. It was the weight in the air, pressing down on us, making every breath feel like an effort. I radio command. Base, this is Agent Mercer. We're at the entrance. Preparing to breach. Static. I tried again. Base, do you copy? More static. Maybe the signal's blocked underground. Carter, the team's tech specialist, said, adjusting his earpiece. We should still... The lights flickered. For half a second, the ground beneath us seemed to tilt. A strange pressure filled my ears, like we had just dived into deep water. My vision blurred, and then silence. I blinked. The world snapped back into focus. My breath caught in my throat. The team was gone. Not a sound. No footsteps. No radio static. Just gone. I spun around, my heart hammering. Carter? Jensen? Vega? Nothing. The flashlight trembled in my grip as I scanned the area. The cold wind had stopped. The air was dead still. I turned back toward the facility doors, expecting to see them standing there, messing with me. But the entrance was open. The steel doors, which had been sealed shut just moments ago, now stood slightly ajar. A yawning blackness stretched beyond them, swallowing my flashlight's beam. I swallowed hard, forcing my breath to steady. Think Mercer. Think asterisk asterisk. There was no way they could have all disappeared at once. No sound. No sign of struggle. 1 second they were here. The next they weren't asterisk asterisk. That wasn't possible. And yet, I was alone. A cold sweat trickled down my back. I checked my radio again. Carter? Jensen? Vega? Does anyone copy? The response was a whisper. At first I thought I imagined it. Just the wind sneaking through the cracks in the facility walls. But then I heard it again. My own voice. Asterisk Carter? Jensen? Vega? Asterisk. It was coming from inside the facility. I took a step back, my entire body screaming at me to turn around, get back to the van, and leave this place behind. But my feet wouldn't move. The doors let out a slow, metallic creak, and then, before I could react, they slammed shut. A gust of freezing air rushed past me, pulling me forward. I staggered, reaching out to catch my balance. And the moment my hand touched the cold steel, the lock clicked. I was inside, and I was alone. The silence down here isn't normal. It presses against me, thick and suffocating, like the walls themselves are listening. My boots echo across the smooth concrete, each step bouncing back to me an instant too late, like someone is walking just behind me. I keep my gun close, my flashlight scanning the long hallway ahead. The underground facility looks untouched, dust settled over desks, old papers scattered on the floor. But something doesn't sit right. The air is too still, too preserved, like someone was here just moments ago. I reach a rusted metal door, slightly ajar. A faded nameplate is bolted to the wall. Dr. Elias Vaughn, lead researcher. The name means nothing to me, but as I push the door open, a wave of nausea washes over me. The office is in perfect condition. A desk sits against the far wall, an old leather chair tucked neatly beneath it. A filing cabinet stands untouched, and a single overhead light flickers, casting long, shifting shadows. I step inside. The air is stale, filled with the scent of old paper and something else, something rotten. I move to the desk, wiping away a thick layer of dust. A yellowed file sits on top, edges curled with age. My hands tremble as I flip it open. Classified experimental file. Subject: Hollow Man. The words are stamped in red ink across the top. Below, lines of text detail a series of studies on something. But the ink is smudged, faded, as if it's been deliberately obscured. I strain to read the first legible line. Asterisk, subject continues to exhibit anomalies in spatial and temporal perception. Attempts to maintain containment have failed. The entity does not abide by our concept of linear time. Asterisk. I swallow hard, flipping through the pages. The further I read, the less sense it makes. References to vanishing personnel, distorted reflections, voices imitating the living. Then I see it. My name. Agent Daniel Mercer. Field Research Observation. My breath catches in my throat. This document looks decades old. That's impossible. I stumble back, the file slipping from my fingers. The papers scatter across the floor, but I don't bother picking them up. The nausea swells. Something is wrong. A sharp sound crackles through the room. A whisper, distant yet near. Daniel. I spin around, my flashlight sweeping across the empty office. Nothing. But I heard it. Someone said my name. The light flickers again. The shadows stretch, warping unnaturally. My reflection in the glass cabinet shifts, not following my movements, but watching me. Then a quiet tap, not from the door, not from the walls, from inside the cabinet. I don't want to look, but I do. The reflection isn't mine anymore. It's someone else. A shape with no face, just empty, shifting darkness where features should be. It tilts its head. Asterisk, you've been here before? Asterisk. The lights go out. I move through the hallway, my footsteps echoing in the cold, lifeless air. The fluorescent lights above flicker in a slow, rhythmic pattern, as if the facility itself is breathing. The deeper I go, the heavier the silence becomes. I clutch my flashlight tighter, scanning the walls. Everything looks the same. Gray steel, rusted vents, locked doors, asterisk asterisk. Then I see something strange. A door at the end of the hallway. It wasn't there before. I hesitate, my pulse quickening. Every door so far has been locked, their keypads blinking red with access denied, but this one is slightly open, just enough for a sliver of darkness to seep out. I step closer. A low creak comes from the hinges as if the door is breathing me in. The air beyond it smells damp, like old earth and rotting metal. I hesitate, then push it open. Inside is a room full of security monitors. The screens are on, their green glow casting eerie shadows against the walls. Each monitor shows a different part of the facility: hallways, stairwells, storage rooms. I scan them quickly, looking for any sign of my missing team. Then my heart stops. One of the screens shows this very room, and in the grainy footage, I see myself, standing right where I am. I whirl around. Nothing. I turn back to the screen. A shadow moves behind me. My breath catches in my throat. I don't want to turn around again, but I do. Nothing. I grab the desk, trying to steady myself. What the hell is this place? My eyes dart back to the screen. The footage is changing. The monitors flicker, the image is distorting, warping. Now I see myself, but different. I look older. Gaunt. Hollow. ***. My reflection stares back at me, but my eyes are wrong, empty. Black voids like someone scooped out the humanity inside. Then, the screen goes black. I step away from the desk, my breath coming in short. Panicked gasps. I need to leave this room. I turn and bolt for the door. But the hallway outside isn't the same. The path I came from is gone. Instead, there's a long corridor stretching endlessly in both directions, lined with identical doors. I spin back to the security room. It's gone too, just another door. Panic grips my chest. I pick a door at random and push it open. Inside is the same hallway. No. No. I turn, try another door. The same hallway. I run now, sprinting down the corridor, my boots pounding against the floor. The air feels heavier with every step, as if I'm running through water. Doors blur past me. I stop, panting, heart hammering, ***. I grab a door handle, wrench it open. I step inside, and I'm back in the security room. The monitors flicker on again, and there I am, standing, watching myself. And behind me, a figure moves. This time, it doesn't disappear when I turn around. I knew I wasn't alone. The air had changed, thicker now, heavier, like the facility itself was breathing around me. Every step echoed down the empty corridors, and with each sound, I felt something watching. I turned a corner, flashlight flickering against cracked walls. Something moved, a shadow, not mine, slipped across the far end of the hallway. I swallowed hard. I was being followed. But when I spun around, the hallway stretched on, empty as before. I took another step forward. The light above me hummed and flickered, casting brief flashes of darkness. That was when I heard it. A voice. At first, it was just a whisper, like wind through a crack in the wall. Then it grew stronger. Agent Mercer. I froze. The voice wasn't coming from my radio. It wasn't an echo bouncing off the metal walls. It was right behind me. Slowly I turned, and there he was. At the end of the hallway, standing impossibly still, was a man. At least he looked like a man. His form shimmered, like a reflection on rippling water. His suit was like mine, dark, official-looking, but something was wrong. His face, it wasn't there, just a blurred, shifting void, like a photo that never fully developed. I gripped my flashlight tighter. "Who are you?" My voice sounded steadier than I felt. The figure tilted its head, like it was studying me. Then it spoke. "You've been here before?" I took a step back. "No, this is my first time here." The hollow man, because I knew deep down that's what he was, shook his head. His voice was calm, too familiar. They always say that. A cold chill ran through me. "Oh, you. My chest tightened. That doesn't make any sense. The hollow man lifted his hand. That's when I saw it. His fingers were shaking, glitching, like bad static on a screen. He was barely holding himself together. You don't remember, do you? I felt dizzy. The hallway seemed longer now, darker. My head pounded. Memories surfaced, but they weren't mine. Flashes of people in hazmat suits, screams behind locked doors. A glass window with my own reflection staring back. I gritted my teeth. "I don't know what game you're playing, but I'm leaving this place." The hollow man just stood there, unmoving. Then, he took a step toward me. The lights flickered. For just a second. The hallway went completely dark. When the lights buzzed back to life, he was closer. Much closer. My breath caught. I hadn't seen him move. There is no leaving. His voice sounded almost sad. You should know that by now. Asterisk. I took another step back. My boot crunched on something. I glanced down. There was a file on the ground, aged, yellowed paper. My flashlight beam shook as I bent down and picked it up. The top of the file read, Subject, Mercer, Daniel. Date, September 19th, 1987. My stomach dropped. That was impossible. I flipped the page. My hands trembled as I read my own name, my own government ID number, and a single chilling sentence at the bottom. Agent Daniel Mercer, missing in action. Declared deceased. My blood ran cold. I wasn't on a mission. I was the mission. I looked up. The hollow man stood right in front of me. He leaned in close, his face shifting, distorting. For the first time, I saw something in that void. Asterisk, asterisk, a glimpse of myself. Asterisk, asterisk. You've been here before, he whispered again. Asterisk, and you will be here again. Asterisk. Then, the lights went out. I had always believed that everything had a rational explanation. I thought that the mission, the anomalies, the strange occurrences could all be traced back to something scientific, something I could understand. But as I moved deeper into this forsaken place, I began to feel the pull of something far darker than anything I'd been prepared for. I found myself in a narrow, concrete hallway that seemed to stretch endlessly before me. The walls, once sterile white, were now streaked with dirt and what looked like dried blood. The faint hum of the facility's broken-down lights was the only sound. It felt like the place was holding its breath, waiting for something, waiting for me maybe. I walked with purpose, but the unease inside me was growing. I kept telling myself I was just tired, stressed. It had been hours since I lost contact with my team, but I hadn't heard anything from them. Not even static. I hadn't seen anyone. No sign of life, except for the shadows. As I turned the corner, a cold chill swept through the air. I noticed something. There, in the dust on the floor, was a set of footprints, fresh, as if someone had passed by minutes ago. The feeling in my chest tightened. I wasn't alone. But when I reached the next room, there was no one. Just rows of rusting equipment, abandoned for decades. The walls looked like they had been abandoned mid-project, torn posters half-hanging from the peeling paint. I walked toward the desk in the middle of the room, drawn to it. There were files scattered across it, some open, some half-hidden beneath a thick layer of dust. One file in particular caught my eye. It was old, yellowed, with a single word typed in bold across the front. Hollow. I opened it. Inside were a series of photographs, some blurry, some clear. The images showed a man, disheveled, pale, with hollow eyes. I recognized him. It was Dr. Arthur Hollis, the head researcher of this facility. He had disappeared nearly 30 years ago, along with the rest of his team, after an incident that was classified as a containment breach. They were all supposed to be dead, lost to time. But this file told a different story. The papers inside chronicled his obsession with something he called dimensional research, quantum consciousness, alternate realities, things I had always dismissed as pseudoscience. But the more I read, the more it became clear that whatever had happened here was more than just a failed experiment. The pages went on to describe an entity. The Hollow Man, they called it. A being who had been trapped between worlds, neither dead nor alive, a shadow of its former self. Dr. Hollis had been trying to bring it into our reality, to study it, control it, use it, but something had gone horribly wrong. The more they experimented, the more the boundaries between this world and another began to blur. A cold realization hit me like a punch in the stomach. This wasn't a research lab. Not really. It was a prison. They hadn't been studying anything. They had been containing it, and now it was free. The lights flickered above me, casting long, jagged shadows on the walls. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me, something that had been waiting for me to uncover the truth. I quickly closed the file, my heart racing. But just as I turned to leave, I heard something. A whisper, soft at first, but growing louder. Mercer. My breath caught in my throat. I spun around, but there was no one there. Asterisk, you shouldn't have come. Asterisk. The voice wasn't just in my ears. It was inside my head, pulling at my thoughts. I knew the voice. I could feel it. It was my own. I stumbled back, knocking over a metal chair. The sound echoed through the empty room, harsh and sharp. The whisper turned to a growl. Asterisk, you don't know, do you? You've always been part of this. Asterisk. My mind screamed for logic, for control, but every inch of my body told me something I couldn't deny. This place was alive. The walls weren't just made of concrete and steel. They were watching, listening. I had seen it all before. The way time bent. The shadows that never stayed still. The whispers that weren't just echoes. I had come here to retrieve research. But what I had found wasn't knowledge. It was a warning. And I wasn't just here to observe. I was here because I had always been meant to be here. I staggered toward the door, but as I reached for the handle, a strange feeling overtook me. The door didn't just open. It shifted. The hallway I had come from was gone, replaced by a room I had never seen. The same walls, the same rusted equipment, but everything was slightly wrong. And then I saw it. In the corner, just out of the light, was a figure. A man. He was standing completely still, his face blank and hollow, his eyes dark voids. His lips parted, and in the deepest voice I'd ever heard, he whispered, Asterisk, welcome to your new home. Asterisk. I reached for my gun, but my hands were shaking too badly to steady it. The shadows swirled around the room, moving like they were alive, and I realized too late. Asterisk, asterisk, I was no longer the one hunting. Asterisk, asterisk, I was the prey. The door slammed shut behind me, and I was swallowed whole. I don't know how long I've been running. The hallways stretch, endless and identical, and no matter how fast I move, the walls keep closing in on me. I'm breathing hard now, each breath a rasp in the silence that surrounds me, thick like it's pressing down on my chest. Every step I take seems to carry me in a loop, back to where I started. The same dark corners, the same flickering lights. My feet move on their own, but my mind isn't with them. It's somewhere else, trying to understand what's happening to me, trying to cling to some semblance of control. But there's nothing left, just the sounds of my footsteps echoing, bouncing off the walls in a pattern I can't escape. I stop for a second, my heart thudding in my ears, the hairs on the back of my neck standing up. I don't know if I've been here before, or if I've ever been anywhere else. I turn around, trying to focus on the hallway behind me. The shadows flicker, stretching unnaturally, as if the light doesn't quite know where to land. I see something. No, I feel something, like the air itself is watching me. My head jerks toward a door I know wasn't there a moment ago. How is this possible? I know I didn't pass it. I reach for the doorknob without thinking, pushing it open. On the other side, there's nothing but black. The room should have walls, but all I see is a void. It feels wrong. I'm wrong. I try to step back, but my feet are glued to the floor, my mind screaming at me to move. But my body won't listen. I hear it again, my name. Daniel. It's not the voice I've been hearing over the radio, but it's unmistakable. It's mine. Or it used to be. The voice is closer now, too close. I try to shake it off. I have to keep going. I can't stay here. This place is not real. None of it is real. I turn, desperate for a way out. But when I face the hallway again, everything has changed. The walls are different now. The floor beneath my feet isn't right. The cracks in the tiles form patterns I don't understand. I see something in the distance. The shape of a figure, flickering like an old film reel. It's him, the Hollow Man. I freeze, and for a moment, I swear my heart stops. His shape is not clear. It's like staring into a fog. A void that's just waiting to swallow everything whole. He's standing there at the end of the hall, staring at me. I can't breathe. Every step he takes feels like it's pulling the air from my lungs, like gravity itself is working against me. You were never supposed to leave, the voice whispers. But it's not just a whisper. His words are in my head now, creeping in, burrowing under my skin. My vision blurs as I try to blink it away. The shadows around me seem to stretch longer, like they're reaching for me. I try to run, but it's useless. I know now that I'm not just running away from him. I'm running away from myself. From everything I've done, everything I've seen, everything I am. There's a mirror, cracked down the middle, sitting in front of me. I hadn't noticed it before. I see myself in it. But it's not just me. There's something else there too, something familiar, but not. My reflection smiles at me. But it's not my smile. It's his. The Hollow Man. You're me now, he says, his voice faint, almost like a memory. I turn my head sharply. My hands start to shake. The walls are closing in around me again. The floor beneath me feels like it's shifting, turning, and I feel myself falling into the darkness. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. The hollow man is everywhere, in the air, in the light, in the shadows. He's inside me now, his voice is my voice, and I can't tell where I end and he begins. I see the hallway again, and this time, I don't run. Because I know now. The hollow man was never someone else. He's always been me, and there's no escape from that. The hallway stretches endlessly, but it's no longer a trap. It's home. The air in the hallway felt thicker now, heavier, like it was pressing in on me from all sides. I couldn't tell if it was the walls closing in, or if it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Either way, I felt like I was suffocating, like I was about to collapse under the weight of whatever was happening here. I kept running. Each step echoed through the empty halls, bouncing off the walls like a cruel reminder of how alone I was. It wasn't just the silence that pressed on me. It was the feeling that I wasn't supposed to be here, that none of this was real. Every room I entered felt like a repeat of the last, a mirror image of a place I had already been. Nothing made sense anymore. I was lost, more lost than I had ever been. I stopped dead in my tracks. In front of me stood the same door I had just passed through 5 minutes ago. The same door, but the numbers etched into the metal were different. Or maybe they had always been that way. I couldn't remember. My mind was starting to fracture. I reached for the handle, but my fingers felt like they weren't mine anymore. When I turned the knob and opened it, I was met with the same room, the same peeling paint, the same flickering lights. How could that be? I slammed the door shut, heart hammering against my ribs. I spun around, but the hallway stretched out before me like an endless tunnel. The walls, now cracked and sagging, seemed to move, pulse with some kind of life. I could almost hear them breathing. What the hell is happening? The thought hit me, sharp and clear, cutting through the fog in my brain. But the answer didn't come. Instead, I heard it. A voice. It was my own voice. Asterisk, asterisk, you've been here before. Asterisk, asterisk. I froze. Not in the hallways. Not in the rooms. But here, inside my own head, asterisk, asterisk, the voice sounded so close, as if it were right behind me. But when I turned, there was nothing. I was losing it. I knew it. I was losing my mind. I kept walking, but each step felt wrong, like my feet were dragging me somewhere I didn't want to go, somewhere I couldn't escape. The air got colder, and my breath fogged in front of me. I reached out to touch the wall, the cold concrete sending a shiver through my body. But when my hand hit the surface, the wall rippled, like it was made of water instead of stone. I stumbled back, shock paralyzing my body for a split second. Asterisk, asterisk, you're not supposed to leave. Daniel, asterisk, asterisk. That voice. It was clearer now, louder. And something about it made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I spun around again, heart racing. This time, I didn't see the flickering shadows. I didn't see the empty hall. I saw him, the hollow man. He was standing there, just a few feet away from me, his face a blur, as if it couldn't hold its shape. His presence felt like an empty space, a void that was swallowing the air around him. And then, as though it couldn't be real, the face shifted. It wasn't just his face. It was my face. I staggered backward, my mind trying to make sense of it all. But it didn't make sense. It wasn't possible. Asterisk, asterisk, I've been waiting for you. Asterisk, asterisk. The hollow man's voice slithered through the air, suffocating, like the words themselves were poison. No, 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 I wasn't ready for this. Not now. Not here. I stumbled again, my breath quick and shallow. You're not real. This is a nightmare. This is all in my head. I can't be. But the hollow man only smiled. A wide, empty smile. And it was my smile. Asterisk, asterisk, you were never supposed to leave. Asterisk, asterisk. I shook my head, trying to break free from the suffocating grip of this place. My feet didn't move. It was like I was stuck in the mud, unable to pull myself away from him. He took a slow step forward, and then another. The room spun. The walls closed in. Asterisk, escape. I have to escape. I can't stay here. I can't let him win. Asterisk. I turned, running. But every turn led me back to him. Every step took me closer to that smile, that empty face. Asterisk, asterisk, don't you see? Asterisk asterisk, the hollow man's voice echoed in my head now, whispering, creeping through the very fibers of my being. Asterisk asterisk, this is where you belong. Asterisk asterisk. I could feel my mind shattering, my sense of self slipping through my fingers like sand. And then he was standing in front of me again, blocking my path. There was no escape. Asterisk asterisk, take my place. Asterisk asterisk. The words were a command, but they were soft, like a lullaby sung by a voice I had known my entire life. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight, but my voice was gone, swallowed up by the void between us. I closed my eyes, but it didn't matter. The darkness behind my eyelids wasn't the same darkness I had left behind. It was the darkness of emptiness, of nothingness. I couldn't breathe. The hollow man reached out and touched my shoulder. And in that touch, I felt it, his presence, his coldness, seeping through me like ice. My body trembled as I felt myself begin to disappear, like I was fading away, slipping from existence. He was taking me. I had no choice. I was him now. I don't know how long I've been standing here. My eyes feel heavy, the weight of the room pressing against my skull, as though something in it is waiting, watching. But I can't move. I can't look away. It's happening again. The sterile, fluorescent lights flicker above me, buzzing faintly, as if the building itself is about to give in to something. My hands are cold. I can feel them trembling, but I can't make them stop. I look down at my palms. They're my palms, rough, scarred from years of wearing the weight of the badge. No, they're not mine. A strange ripple spreads in my chest, a sickening feeling that my reflection is slowly starting to blur, as if the person standing here, asterisk me asterisk, is becoming something else. I hear a voice. It isn't mine. Agent Mercer. The words sound like they're coming from a distance, from somewhere beyond the room, beyond the walls. But I know this voice. I've heard it before. I've spoken it before. It's my own voice. No, it's not. I turn, slowly, like I've been taught to, like I've done hundreds of times before when something didn't feel right. But my body doesn't respond the way it should. The voice, it's not coming from anyone else. It's coming from me, but it's not me. I know this, even if my brain refuses to process it. There's a moment where everything stops, just for a heartbeat, and I realize I'm no longer standing in the broken-down corridors of Blackridge. I'm in a room, a cold, clean, pristine room, a briefing room. The air smells of fresh paper, ink, and antiseptic. I see the whiteboard at the front, marked with classified details about my last operation. The walls are lined with neatly arranged chairs, all facing forward like they're waiting for me. I feel like I'm drowning in this calm. I don't want it. The door opens behind me, but I don't turn. I can't turn. I just stand there frozen. I hear footsteps, not heavy ones. Asterisk asterisk light, almost nervous. Asterisk asterisk, they stop. I feel a cold presence settle into the room. Agent Mercer, the voice says again. I don't respond. I don't want to. Then it speaks again, this time with a hint of curiosity, almost like a question. Are you ready for the mission? Mission? My heart skips a beat, a sharp pang in my chest. Something is wrong. The sound of my name echoes again, not from the voice in front of me, but from within me, from somewhere deep inside my skull. I hear it, echoing over and over, in voices that aren't mine. Agent Mercer, the voice says, more insistent now. I feel the pressure in my mind growing heavier. Something about this room, this place, doesn't fit anymore. I want to scream. I want to shout that I don't belong here, that I've been through this before. But I can't. My voice is stuck. My breath is caught somewhere deep in my throat. A shadow falls across the table. I don't need to look to know who it is. The figure sits. I don't see them clearly. Asterisk asterisk, I don't want to see them. Asterisk asterisk. But I know. I know who they are. They speak again, and their words twist in my chest. You've been briefed. Your mission is simple. Retrieve the files, and come back alive. But something doesn't make sense. These words, they sound too clean, too rehearsed. They echo in my mind, reverberating like the hollowed-out remnants of a dream I've already lived. Retrieve the files, they say again. And then, in a tone so familiar it sends a chill through my spine, they add, before it's too late. Before it's too late. Suddenly, I feel it, the weight of the air shifting, the walls closing in. The room grows darker. The light above flickers again, but this time, there's something else in it. A distortion. A crack. The room isn't real. My reflection in the window. Asterisk, asterisk, it isn't mine, asterisk, asterisk. It's his. The hollow man. I know him. I am him. I want to scream, but all that comes out is a ragged breath, sharp and trembling. No, I'm not him. I'm not. I stand there, staring into the mirror. The face looking back at me is mine, but it's not. It can't be. The eyes aren't mine. The smile, it's too wide, too wrong. I turn to face the shadow at the table, but I don't have to. I already know. The man sitting there, the one giving orders, giving the mission, is me. Or at least he was. He's the one who will walk into the facility. He's the one who will begin the cycle again. My hands are shaking, my breath uneven. I try to stand, but my body doesn't respond. Not the way it should. I can't escape this. This is where it begins. Again. The mission. The cycle. I'm trapped. And I'll always be trapped. Somewhere, deep within me, I hear a voice. It's mine, but it's also his. Welcome back, Agent Mercer. And I know, with sickening certainty, that I am no longer Agent Mercer. I am the Hollow Man, and the cycle will never end.